Today I'm excited to share with you one of our favorite games, which is Codenames. We happen to love the Disney version because we are a huge Disney family. Let's start with what comes in the box. First, you get 200 treasure cards, which have pictures on one side and words on the other. You can choose to play either way. We happen to love the picture side because Disney images are so iconic. Next, it comes with these red, blue, and tan cards. These are used to represent red team, blue team, and then neutral. You're going to be trying to guess squares on the board, and when you get one, or if you happen to guess your opponent's, then you put whoever it belonged to, that color card on top of it, and that's who you're going to determine the winner. And finally, the game comes with 60 key cards. These are used to determine which squares on the board belong to the red team, which belong to the blue team, and which ones are neutral. To play this game, you're going to break into two teams, a red team and a blue team, and each team will have a clue master every round. That clue master is going to look at the key card and try and get the rest of the players on their team to guess all of the cards that belong to them without having them guess any cards that belong to the other team or any cards that are neutral. Because if you give a clue and your teammates guess the other team's card, they still get to put their card on it, so you definitely don't want to do that. So to play, the two clue masters are going to look at the clue card. You want to arrange the pictures so that they're facing the rest of the teammates and the key card so that it's facing you as the clue master. And then you're going to determine who goes first based on the color that is on the outside of the key card. In this case, it's a blue one, so we know the blue team will go first. When the blue clue master looks at the cards, they may notice that two of their cards, the dwarves and Beauty and the Beast, have multiple players in them where none of the red cards or the other neutral cards do. So they may want to give a clue, like people, to represent that there's multiples, but then if you look at the board, there's a lot of additional people as well. So maybe instead that clue master says company, knowing that they're in the company of others. They get to give that clue in one word and then also one number. That number represents how many cards on the board represent that clue. So in this case, they may say company, they're one word, and two, because there's two cards on the board. That number helps the rest of the team know how many cards they're looking for to try and make sense of the clue that's given. Now, of course, you could be really direct and say Belle 1, and your teammate will be able to guess that one card, but by giving a clue like company, you might be able to get two cards out of one turn. And that is the goal, is to be able to get all of your cards selected first. So let's say that the blue team tries to analyze the board with that clue, company 2. Now maybe they don't automatically get company as people, but they think company is an organization. So they may determine, well, let's guess Mickey Mouse because Mickey represents the Disney company or the organization. Now that clue is wrong, so that ends the blue team's turn, but we've still got to identify who did have Mickey Mouse. And in this case, it's a neutral card, so we'll pick up one of these tan cards and set it over the top of Mickey Mouse. That one is now out of turn, but luckily for the blue team, they didn't guess a red card instead. So now it's the red team's turn, and maybe the red team notices, well, Zazu and Buzz Lightyear both fly. So maybe fly could be a good clue to help them get two guesses out of one turn. But they look at the rest of the board and the clue master notices, but Dumbo flies, and in a way, Carl from Up also flies too. So a better clue here may instead be wings, because Zazu has wings, Buzz Lightyear has wings, but Dumbo flies with his ears and Carl with the balloons. So in this case, the red clue master would say wings 2. And then their team will try and analyze the board, and they see Zazu, yep, that's correct, so we'll put one red card on Zazu. And then they also look around and notice, yes, Buzz Lightyear does in fact have wings as well, so they get their second card. Now because the clue master had given the number 2 as part of their clue, and the red team got 2 cards in it, they could actually take a third turn. You can always take one more turn than the number given by the clue master. But on the first round, you don't have any other clues to go off of, so they're not going to use that. So instead they turn it over to the blue team. And the blue clue master may realize that there are 2 cards that have food-related items in them. So they'll say blue 2, again giving options to have 2 cards in one turn. The first card may be obvious, they'll guess Judy, and you make your guesses formal by actually touching the card. So in this case, once they've guessed Judy and it is in fact right, you'll go ahead and add that blue card on top of Judy. Because the clue master had said 2, the blue team can now determine whether they want to guess again or whether they want to stop. Now looking at this board, food may not be obvious in any other items, so since they've already taken one guess, the blue team could just stop there so they don't don't accidentally guess one of the red team's items. But as they look at the cards more closely, they might just notice that Carl has his grape soda button on. So they'll say, that's a food clue, let's guess it, and they would in fact be right. Blue gets their card on top, and now because they got 2 cards with the clue of 2, they again can take that additional turn and use it for a 3rd guess. In this case, they may want to use it because on the previous turn, where the clue was company 2, they didn't get any right. So maybe after reanalyzing the board, they go, oh, company is in terms of people, so they guess the 7 dwarfs card. And yes, in fact, they're right. Blue now gets a 3rd card on top, and they have to stop there. But they might just remember that for the next turn, Beauty and the Beast might be a great guess for their 2nd item in that company clue. So you'll just keep taking turns back and forth until one team has all of their cards covered, in which case they win. This game is so fun, it's different every time. It's also really easy to adapt for various ages, so that you can use some of those more food type clues or the company type clues for older players who have a little bit more processing. But if you're playing with younger players, it's really easy to simplify some of those clues. For instance, you could use red for Mr. Incredible and Sebastian. So that is how you play Disney Codenames. For more of our favorite games, I will put a link to those in the description down below. And if you want to try your own games that you can create at home without even having to buy any at this store, we have tons of great family activity ideas that you can do with items you already have around the house. I will put a link to that as well. Or simply check out FamilyFed.com, where we love bringing you easy games and activities to make it simple for you to spend quality family time together. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!